Hello everyone, my name is James Pack. I am a senior at Center College and I am majoring in math and minoring in data science. This summer I was lucky enough to be a data analyst intern at Wilderness Trail Distillery here in Danville. And today I'd like to talk to you all a little bit about what I did this summer as well as in the spring. So to start off, I want to talk about a little bit of who Wilderness Trail Distillery is. They were founded in 2013 here in Danville, Kentucky. They were founded by Dr. Pat Heist and Shane Baker. They are very young, especially in terms of distilleries where most major ones are a century or older. And they've only recently been able to start selling their whiskey, and so what they know about their production process is kind of limited at this point in time. So then looking at what my role is as a data analyst intern, I help to create a narrative based on the data that they've collected. I then chose statistical methods to gain insights into the data and understand better what's going on in their production process. And I was able to communicate the results of all my analyses to Wilderness Trail Distillery, and specifically to Pat Heist, one of the co-owners. And so my role more specifically was to figure out the alcohol that was lost in the aging of bourbon. So for those of you that don't know, when you make bourbon, you have to create a mash, distill it, and then put it into a barrel for 4 or more years before selling it. And during these 4 years, alcohol can be lost to evaporation, it can be absorbed into the barrel, there can be leaks, things like that. And so Wilderness Trail collected data on the alcohol lost from when the barrels were stored in the warehouses to when they were taken out. And then that's where I came in as being able to help. So my project started with the spring semester with one of the math courses that partnered us with Wilderness Trail, and we began by choosing models and did a one-time analysis of the alcohol loss of the bourbon. We also were able to calculate the worth of the allocation of production, so if they were producing different bourbons, we were able to determine which ones were the more valuable allocations and recommend how they should age their bourbon. But then beyond that, that was the end of the spring. So I communicated with Dr. Pat Heist, and I came along this summer, and my goal was to create a program that ran the same analysis for Wilderness Trail so that as they grow as a distillery, they have more and more data to use to understand the alcohol loss. They'd be able to run the same analyses again and continue to make sure that the same results were popping up or notice any changes that might occur. And so my three main learning objectives for the summer were to learn the role of math modeling in business decision making. I wanted to refine my software development skills by creating this tool for Wilderness Trail, and I wanted to understand the nuances and soft skills of business beyond just these hard skills that I need, especially the adaptability that came with this summer and the coronavirus. So looking at a little bit more of what I was working on, a lot of my summer was spent touring Wilderness Trail and better understanding the processing. So going and seeing how the mash was created, how it was distilled and where it was distilled in their campus, as well as the barreling process, so filling the barrels, storing it in a warehouse, and then taking it out at the end and bottling it. And from this, I then created this program you can see in the bottom right that is at this point still unfinished, that allowed for variable entry for the age of the bourbon, the price, and how much of the production was going to go towards that, as well as putting in some costs. You can run an alcohol loss analysis to see how much alcohol is estimated to be lost over a certain number of years. You can look at the net present value, which is just another way of measuring the value of an allocation of production. And this allows Wilderness Trail to get a better insight into how they should be producing their bourbon. So I wanted to show this to you all to show what I've done so far. Unfortunately, this summer I wasn't able to totally finish it, so I'm continuing my work with Wilderness Trail through the fall to hopefully finish off this project. And I think one of the coolest parts about this position was that I found this through a class here at Center who partnered me up with Wilderness Trail, and then I was able to work with Dr. Pat Heist to continue the position into the summer and now a little bit further into the fall.